Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Leo here, the creator behind Signature Couturier. If you have ever struggled to line up layered vinyl, this video is about to make your life so much easier. Today I'm going to show you how to use simple registration mark in Silhouette Studio to get perfectly aligned layers every time. I'll walk you through how I set up my layers in Silhouette Studio and how I layer my vinyl using my registration marks. This method saves you so much time and honestly just makes the whole process so much smoother and so much less stressful. So if you love crafting, personalised items, or working with vinyl, make sure you stick around because this little trick is a game changer. So let's get started. If this video helps you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment letting me know what you would like to see next. Get started with this, what we're going to do is add in our cut file that we want to use, and we need to make sure we have everything selected so we can move it all at the same time, and we are going to keep each layer as separate layers. So I'm just going to pop that back there, and then what we want to do is we are going to highlight everything so we can move it all together and just move it down slightly. I like to just move it down to the next square available, and then we're going to go over to the left hand side and we're going to go to our shape. Again, you can choose any shape that you want. I like to use a star because it gives you those nice edges there, and then I like to just drag that in so we get a nice sharp star there. And then we're going to go back up to the left hand side and click on the cursor option, and then we are going to turn this star to black to match our bottom layer. And once we have done that, we can now move this up. We want to get it as close to the star as we can, just because that's going to avoid too much of wasting your vinyl. So now I'm going to highlight everything there, and I am going to right click and choose the option to duplicate. So the amount of colors that you have in your SVG cut file is the amount of times we are going to duplicate this. So as you can see, we've got black, yellow, blue, white and red for the dummy. So we want to duplicate this image 5 times. There we go. So now we have that duplicated. What we want to do now is match a star to each color on your SVG cut file. So for this one, we can leave that black. So I'm just going to click on the yellow there. We're going to remove the yellow, remove the white, remove the blue, and remove the red. So now I can highlight both of them and we can group them together. So that's always going to stay in the right position. Same on this one. So now I am going to remove the blue. We can remove the red, we can remove the white, and we can remove the black on that layer. So now all we want to do is click on that star, and we need to change the star to the yellow. So we're going to click on the color option at the top and we're going to choose the dropper. For some reason, I'm not sure why it doesn't show the other drop down menu, but obviously when you click on that, it brings up your color and you're going to see a drop in icon there. So just click on your color dropper and then you can go over to your image and click on the color that you want, and it's going to change that star to the same color. So that one is done. We can highlight both of them and group those together. Again, same concept. So we're going to choose what color we want to use next. So I am going to remove the yellow layer, we're going to remove the black layer, remove the white layer, remove the red layer, and we're going to choose that star. Go over to your color, choose the color dropper and click on the blue, and again let's change that star. So just highlight everything there, group together. Again, we're going to do this on this layer. So we are going to remove the yellow layer, remove the blue layer, remove the red layer, remove the black layer, click on the star, click the color, choose your dropper and click on the white. There we go. Highlight everything there, group together. Again, we're going to do the same on the last one. So we're going to remove the blue layer, remove the yellow layer, remove the white layer and the black layer. So now we are left with the red. So we're going to click that star, up to the color, click the dropper, click on the red and then highlight both of those and group. So now what I like to do is just rearrange my colors on the mat where I want them to cut. So we're just going to put the blue there in the corner, pop the dummy there, we'll pop the eyes about there, and then we bring the yellow into this corner. So now what you want to do is obviously load up your colors on your mat and then send it through your cut machine. So now I have weeded my layers and got everything ready to go. So we've got all our separate layers here. If you would like to learn about weeding, then there is another video to pop on the end of this video where I'll give you some tips and things on how to weed. and using a light board to line up your layers and things like that. So the reason I'm showing you this technique is because not everybody has a light board. So using a reference like the star is going to really help you line up these layers without having to worry about the guessing game and just getting the space in between every layer perfect. So it doesn't really matter with what color you start with first, because if you are aligning the stars, then everything is going to fall into the right place anyway. So let's just go with the yellow because it's there in front of me. I'm just going to move these to the side. So what I like to do as well before I lay any of my colors on top, I like to just make sure that the bottom layer is just free of any tiny little bits, because that is going to cause you to get little bubbles in your work. So I just like to take my squeegee, use the soft end, and just give it a slight run over just to make sure that is really clean and there's nothing on top. Now what I'm going to do is just use my squeegee to apply some pressure on the back. It just helps to lay all that vinyl onto the application tape. Like so. So a lot of people will tell you to use butcher paper, parchment paper, but I don't like to do that, because the more things that you use, the more chance of picking up little bits of debris that is going to affect your final result. I like to just use my backing paper. I'll just pop that back on. Make sure you obviously pop it on back the right way, because otherwise it's going to stick to it. And then I just go over the top, and we're going to look to line up that star. As long as you line up that star perfectly, everything else is going to line up. There we go. So that's as good as I can get it. So now I can press down there, and I'm just going to flip this over and remove the backing, and then take my squeegee and just smooth that down as we remove the backing. So as you can see, that has given us a perfect layer there. We're just going to take that off. Just be careful when you're taking it off, because you don't want to lift all your work. So just take your time with it. It's not a rush. I just think little things like this make a massive difference. This sets you apart from other creators. Now this one, you're really going to have to take your time, because you don't want to move that star. Right, so now we're going to go in with the next colour. I always like to, when I can, add a little bit of fun into my design. So instead of just having a plain blue, we're going to go in with a holographic blue. There we go. So we're just going to line up the star. And I'm not going to use the back at this time. Sometimes it can be hard to see through. This is why I do like to use a light board when I can. Right, so my star's lined up. So I'm just going to pop that on. So, and then we're going to go straight in with the next layer, which is going to be the white layer for the eyes. And then the final layer is the dummy layer. Again, I like to use a bit of fun, so we've got a colour changing vinyl there. There we go. So now all those layers are done, we don't need to worry about the stars. We can remove them, so it doesn't matter if they come off with the last layer. Here we go, and there is our final result. So as you can see, that dummy goes from like a pink to a blue, which is really cool.